All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to CAGcast episode number 745. I'm your host, GBD, here in Long Island, New York. And as always, we're joined by a man who can be best described as extremely hardcore, Wombat.
You know, you gotta be hardcore if you want to be hardcore. What's the line? It's from School of Rock.
I cannot quote School of Rock in any capacity.
I just tried to, but I think I messed it up.
You did?
Yep.
Maybe.
That's okay.
Anyway,
I'm not on top of my School of Rock quotes game either. Like this is, I thought I could pull something for you, Wombat, but nothing.
You gotta be hardcore if you want to be hardcore, something like that. He sings the bad song.
You think Elon likes School of Rock?
There he goes. Well, you're not hardcore unless you live hardcore, but the legend of the rent was way hardcore. Is the full song. Thank you, Still Twitchy in the chat. There you go.
I don't think Elon likes School of Rock.
No, because that's a heartwarming movie for the family,
right?
And I don't think he's spoken to his children ever. So, that's allegedly. I should say that before he sues me.
Right.
Allegedly, he hasn't spoken to his children.
Allegedly, he never spoken to
a lot of people are saying that.
A lot of people are saying that he doesn't even know his children's names.
Well, he spells them with like symbols and things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Anyway, what's been going on? It's been a minute.
I know. It's been a couple of weeks since we've done a show. I got some Arby's whiskey.
Let's see it. Hold up the whiskey for the fans. Fans need to see the whiskey. Don't drop the whiskey.
I know. It's a glass bottle. It's
fancy.
A nice glass bottle.
Glass bottle?
Arby's smoked bourbon whiskey. It is not meat flavored whiskey for those.
That's
for those
good.
Wondering.
Is there a such thing as meat flavored whiskey?
I mean, I've seen bacon flavored whiskey. So, but I feel like that's just smoked whiskey. I did pour a shot of whiskey before.
You should drink it now. Drink it. Do you drink? You don't shoot a whiskey, do you?
You can. Why not?
Oh, do it.
If you're in the Old West.
Yeah,
right.
And that's me, and it's in my cool Scarlet Witch shot glass.
Let's see it. Let's see you do it.
Okay.
Cool Scarlet Witch shot glass.
Yeah, doesn't everyone have a cool Scarlet Witch shot glass? No?
One,
okay.
Yeah.
Shot.
So drink it. Yeah, he's doing it. Oh my God, he drank it.
Oh man.
Wow.
Feel the burn.
Actually, that is extremely hardcore.
It is.
Holy
shit. I'm impressed. Do another one.
So, no.
Do a keg stand.
No.
Do a barrel roll. Wow.
Ooh.
Wow. This was like some good peer pressure ship. Like,
was it? Well, I already had it poured. Is it really peer pressure if I pour the shot?
We pressured you into pouring before the show. You just, you weren't going to do it, but we would not let up. And it paid off.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to vomit in the first 5 minutes of the show.
No, but I am nice and warm.
Is that your first taste of the Arby's whiskey?
No, I've had it a couple of times already. I told you. Oh, everyone's home, by the way.
How would you review that whiskey?
It's probably better than Jack Daniel's, which,
that's not a review. You need to describe the flavor. Even I don't know any of this, but I know you got to describe the flavor. You can't just say it's better than something.
It's surprisingly mild. It doesn't have a lingering aftertaste. There are definitely some hints of vanilla. I don't know how smoky it is per se. But I do like I said, it does not have a lingering aftertaste like some whiskeys have, which is something that I kind of like.
Okay, and now rate it out of 1 to 10.
Let's say a 7.5.
Perfect. Excellent.
Yep.
Now that's how you review a whiskey.
Yes, and no, it does not have hints of roast beef.
Anyway, I don't think I can drink whiskey.
I like whiskey. Don't get me wrong.
Should be looking up Arby's whiskey right now to find out what it's made out of.
We know what it's made out of.
It's actually made like about 7 miles from my house.
Yeah, it's made in Cincinnati.
By the sewage plant, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, where they recycle the cats?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right by the vet clinic. Very convenient.
Mm-hmm.
So how much was a bottle of Arby's bourbon?
It was about $60.
Oh, okay. It's bourbon, whiskey is bourbon. That's the same thing.
All bourbons are whiskeys, but not all whiskeys are bourbons.
I hate it.
Backwards, I believe.
I don't know. Someone will correct me. I don't
like it.
It's one way or the other.
It's the other way.
Perfect.
Is it all bourbons are whiskeys? Right?
Yes.
Yeah, all bourbons. I thought that's what I said. Whatever.
No, that is not. You've had enough.
It.
You've had enough.
Cut this guy off.
I'm cut off.
Get this guy a sandwich.
No, I mean, for a bottle that size of good whiskey, that's about what a bottle that size of good whiskey would cost.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad.
No, it's not bad at all. I'm happy with the purchase. It was fun. It's a nice little conversation piece, if anything, and I will drink the whiskey. Clearly, because now I'm nice and warm. I'm like,
so how much, if you didn't pop that open, how much is that on the black market? I bet
yeah, because I know they don't sell it anymore. I probably could have gotten, I don't know, $100 would be my guess, but I didn't look.
Because I mean, bourbon collecting is a big thing. I just don't know if people are looking for the Arby's bourbon.
The Arby's bourbon, especially when it comes from the place where it comes from is like a custom whiskey place. I bet you could order the Arby's blend, whatever that might be. But
I bet you Supreme whiskey would be a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they would do it the same way. They could go to this company in Cincinnati,
buy some shit ass whiskey, and then charge $300 for it.
Mm-hmm. Stick a label on it.
That's what they did with the table tennis package.
Yeah.
The only Supreme thing that they put out that actually you could buy new for less than their list price.
Nice.
Not the only one, but one of the very few.
I understand.
I'm trying to think if I had any good stories to share.
Is it as good as bourbon as Arby's whiskey? No. It was totally worth it just to talk about.
Sure. Love talking about alcohol.
And anytime I get to use my cool Scarlet Witch shot glass.
You should have another one, I feel.
I only have one Scarlet Witch shot glass.
No, I mean, you should have another shot.
No, I'm good.
Like a sip, maybe. You have a sipping glass? I just want to watch you fall off your chair.
Are you?
Damn.
I think you should go for the full collection of Scarlet Witch shot glasses.
Yeah.
That is really hard for me to say for some reason.
Scarlet Witch shot glass.
Scarlet Witch shot glass.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any edibles you could take?
No, I don't.
That would pair nicely with a shot
with a nice
of whiskey.
Yeah, a nice oaky edible.
Oaky?
Oaky.
Is that oaky? Yeah, oaky. Yeah.
That's not how you describe. Whiskey.
Oaky.
as oaky dokie.
Right. Steve Aoki.
Mm-hmm. I didn't add anything to the outline from 2 weeks ago.
Perfect.
Feedback. Yeah, I know.
Make some up.
People said we were awesome, and I agreed.
Good. I'm afraid to read the feedback because I just don't want to read anything negative. So it's like, why even read it?
Yeah,
it's going to be full of comments after Twitter goes down. People aren't.
I know people are going to have to go back to the site.
Is that really happening? Awesome. Let me seriously, like real talk. I was just on the toilet pissing because I like to pee sitting down. Because it just makes less mess.
I've heard that about you. Yeah.
It makes less mess. Mrs. Chibi was complaining and no complaints since I started sitting down. Anyway, I just checked the timeline real quick just to see like maybe some last minute news.
Doesn't the tip get wet?
What's that?
Doesn't the tip get wet when you sit down?
No, I can control everything. It's yeah. Anyway, I'm looking through the timeline looking for some like last minute news or something, and it's just everybody like giving out their fucking like private detail, like like find me on LinkedIn. I guess the site's going down. Has something happened to the site today that?
Well, there was the letter that was sent yesterday where people.
I know all the letters and I know all that, but has like the site stopped working?
No,
in any capacity.
With 75% of the employees, allegedly, rumor is 75% of the employees quit. Without those 75% of the
he finally kept the promise.
Yeah. Without that,
what was the promise?
Without those 70,
originally he said he was going to get rid of 75% of Twitter's workforce when he bought it.
Apparently, some of those people are needed for the site to basically stay on.
Right.
And without those people, it'll be fine for now. But as soon as something happens,
right,
It's just the house of cards.
Right.
And most people are saying that could happen as early as tonight, if not tomorrow. Now, will that happen? I don't know. I have no idea what's going to happen. I don't know if it's
bad timing during Black Friday.
Yeah, I don't work at Twitter, so I can't answer the question.
Nobody does.
Yeah, because apparently nobody does. So, I mean, I obviously am a man of two minds on this. As someone from the outside looking in, who enjoys chaos as entertainment, I find this to be very exciting. But on the flip side of that, I don't like anybody losing their job. I don't like anyone's livelihood getting hurt. I don't like. There's a lot of things about this
my livelihood getting hurt.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean.
Talking about.
It's like I can't really enjoy it from that standpoint because I know how many people
using Twitter. I'm sure. Don't you tweet a lot?
Yeah, I like using. You know what? I like the information I get from Twitter. You know,
it's like a scale. Like watch Elon like completely fuck up is on one side, which is good. On the other side, like Twitter dying is not good.
Exactly. And I'm well aware of that. Like that, which is why I'm not tweeting things like I can't wait for this hell site to die, like some people are.
We just want to see Elon's pants come down at some point.
Yeah, I want someone to pull down his pants on the lunch line.
Right.
And
put a sloppy Joe in his underwear.
Yeah, I don't think that's asking too much.
Unfortunately, that probably happened already in his youth, and that's why he's such a prick now. Sloppy Joe.
Sloppy Joe.
Yeah, well, hopefully, fingers crossed. We like Twitter. We do have a new website coming, really soon. It's going to be a race. Can Super Programmer John get the new CAG up before Twitter goes down? I don't.
Can he have it up by the morning? By the way, Can you tell that my face is literally all red because it looks? Yes. I can see it in the camera
from the whiskey.
From the whiskey.
It's the whiskey talking. Oh man,
right red from one shot of whiskey.
How about like a beer to go with that? Wouldn't that be nice?
No, I don't need any more to drink.
Really?
I'm nice and warm now.
Okay, good. Don't pee yourself.
No,
more.
It's not enough to get. It's not enough to do anything to me other than turn my face bright red.
That's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You're redder than Chip now.
I know, right? It's weird.
About the same, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Should we do Watch This, Jerks? We'll think about the stuff we talk about later, I'm sure.
There's a lot to talk about. Am I the only one who watched Weird on Roku TV?
I watched it.
You did watch it? The Weird Al Yankovic?
All the fine films on Roku TV.
Can I ask a question about Roku TV first?
Yes, you can.
Ask me anything. I'm a subscriber.
I was going to make a joke if I actually needed a Roku TV, but I'm assuming it's an app or something.
Yeah.
Do I have to pay to be? Sometimes it's an app.
Not on Apple products. It isn't.
Okay.
On Apple TV, it's not.
What about on LG TVs? It's on Xbox, probably, right?
I don't know.
I don't think it is.
Oh.
It might be, but I don't know that it is for sure.
I was gonna say you might be able to stream it from like your computer onto your TV.
That sounds lame.
You know.
Anyway, how's the movie? Forget my jerky questions.
It's cute.
It's a Weird Al movie. It's the same tone as.
It has ads when you watch.
Yeah, it does have ads.
Unless you get Roku Plus.
I don't have Roku.
I don't know that exists. But
I don't think that it does exist.
If it doesn't exist because Wombat doesn't have the monthly subscription for it. So
yeah, it's cute. Yeah, it does. It obviously does. It does. It has that UHF style, that tone of UHF. There's a lot of cameos in it. If you like a good cameo filled, over the top comedy, then you're going to be happy with this movie. There's a lot of Weird Al references also.
Sure.
So
I would expect no less.
Well, I mean, it's.
Does he eat a Vaseline sandwich in it at any point?
I mean, there's like a layer of underneath all the spoof references to Weird Al. There are other like deep cut Weird Al references.
How
like
deep?
When the movie opens, there's a radio. He's listening to the radio, and the ad on the radio says 30% off gabardine suits, which is a line from the song King of Suede.
Yep.
Those kind of deep cut references are sort of sprinkled throughout the movie. So if you're a diehard Weird Al fan, there's some things in there for you outside of the other jokes, like, the stuff about Eat It. And
I listened to that album about 1 billion times, 3D. And
that's a great album.
I could not pull out those lyrics out of my mind right now. The gabardine suit. I loved like Al TV on MTV. I was a huge fan of that. That was like, I remember he ate a Vaseline sandwich, and that was really funny. I was like, I can't believe this guy is just eating a Vaseline sandwich on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully I'll be able to watch this movie without commercials, not on Roku at some point. It seems unlikely.
No, I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if they put it on something like Vudu to set for sale.
I could. Yeah. I'll buy it. I could rent it. You mean like to rent somewhere?
Yeah, to rent or buy or something.
Get some money.
Without
I'll do that. That sounds good.
It might just be, well, you don't want the commercials. So you can record it. You buy a TCL TV.
Yeah.
Buy a TCL TV, then you buy set up a Plex server.
Right.
Then record it off of that, and then have it automatically remove the commercials for you, and then you can play it back.
I'm sure I could torrent it.
I think that's the preferred. Yeah, but you want the one that you ripped yourself, right?
I haven't watched a torrent in like so long. No, I'm not going to do any of that. I will just rent it like a normal person. What else are we watching?
I had to hunt down like all my TVs other than my projector down here.
Yeah,
are like TCL, and TCL has the Roku like built in.
Oh, okay.
And so I was coming down here to watch it, and this is how I found out like it's not an app on Apple TV, which is nuts to me.
Right.
And then I think I went to Xbox and couldn't find it there. And so then
it's not on LG. I just looked up.
Yeah. Then I found that I had a Roku TV stick little thing that I could plug in that I don't know where I got that from, but I had one, and it got me the Weird Al movie.
Nice.
Yeah. I like Weird Al.
Whenever I pick that up. Yeah. It's good. Enough. It was good enough.
It's good enough. It's perfectly fine for what it is. My wife and I watched it together.
That's not great.
And we enjoyed it.
Enough.
No, I'm not going to say it's great. Daniel Radcliffe is fun in it. You know, but I'm not rushing to watch it again, which I think is its biggest crime, is that it should be the kind of movie that I want to watch like on a rainy day. And I don't know if it is.
I want to go to a Weird Al concert.
I've been to a Weird Al concert.
Was it good?
He puts on one of the best shows I've ever seen.
Yeah, I bet.
And that's not even hyperbole or a joke. He legitimately puts on one of the best concerts I've ever seen.
He doesn't fuck around. He doesn't even curse.
No, he does not. He does the costume changes between every song. It's a full-on,
he's old school,
multimedia production. The band is, it's still a live band playing all those songs and all those instruments live. It's not like he's singing to pre-recorded music,
right?
Which I think some people think he does. No, it's the band. It's really awesome.
What else are you watching?
I actually saw a live show last week.
Which one?
I saw Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend live podcast record.
Wow, where do they do that?
Beacon Theater.
Beacon Theater.
At the Beacon.
How much is the ticket for that cost? I'm just curious.
About $100 per person.
With fees or with pre-fees?
I think probably pre-fees.
Fucking those fucking fees, man.
I know it wasn't too bad because it was pre-sale and it was through my wife's work. So
what do we charge for our listeners, for people to? Are we in that range?
Yeah, we charge $100 a ticket to see us at the Beacon, and he sold out the Beacon 2 nights in a row, which is one of the larger theaters in Manhattan. So it was actually pretty impressive. You could see it on his face that he was not ready for that many people to see his show at one time. Like he was like, this is a lot of people. The guest was Tracy Morgan, who would literally stop like every 10 minutes and go, there's so many people here. And I'm like, yeah, it's a
how many people does the Beacon hold?
Like 4,000.
A lot of people.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it was pretty cool.
Cool.
It was very funny. We very much enjoyed it, as I did my Weird Al concert. And now we could get back to watching this.
Bitches? Jerks?
Yeah.
I forgot.
Jerks.
Sorry, jerks.
Jerks. Am I going again next? Because I'm next on the list. I watched See How They Run on HBO Max.
Yes.
Did you watch that?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, it's I think you would like that. It's a period mystery drama comedy.
What's the period?
What was it? The 1950s, because it's post-war 1950s.
Okay.
I was about to say late 1940s, but it's like early 1950s.
Big fan.
Not that it matters that much, but it's Saoirse Ronan and Sam Rockwell. Saoirse Ronan is a rookie police officer, and Sam Rockwell is the grizzled detective, and they're solving a murder that takes place in London in the early 1950s at a theater. I was about to say a Broadway theater, but no, at the West End Theater in London.
Sam Rockwell speaks with a British accent in the film?
Yes, he speaks with a British accent.
Interesting.
Yep.
Right.
It was pretty good. Maybe a little long, but a good, a cute, like a real movie.
Let's check the old Rotten Tomato meter.
I'm going to say, wait, let me guess. I'm going to say it's probably not rotten, like the red tomato, but I'm going to say...
Give me a number. Spit it out.
72%.
75, just like your whiskey.
Okay. Hey, I was close. I can pre-guess Rotten Tomatoes with the best of them. That's accurate. Like I said, it's enjoyable. It's not gonna blow anyone's mind. No one's gonna watch that movie and go, "This is the movie that changed my life."
Let's hear about Wakanda Forever.
Speaking of movies that'll change your life forever,
because I think I'm going to see this tomorrow.
I liked it. It's very long. I think you'll like it too, Ship. I think Cheapy's gonna hate it.
Hate it? Why would I hate it?
I think you're gonna hate it.
Why would I? Well, hate is a strong word.
I know, and I.
How long is it? I'm looking right now.
It's got to be
because
2.5
he's super
hours.
racist. Is that what it is?
2 hours and 41 minutes.
Yeah.
I still think they should let you make a white Black Panther in the video game.
Yeah, exactly. It's
no, I don't. By the way.
No, I know you don't.
I mean, I don't care. Do whatever the fuck you want.
I could spoil things. I'm not going to. I think it's okay. Oh, Jesus. What am I?
You can't talk about any of the plot points. Just talk about the emotions you felt. And
you said your wife cried and you saw that she cried.
My wife cried twice. And I was sitting next to her while she cried.
And you did not. Well, no, you never cry.
No, I didn't cry. I'm not going to cry during Black Panther.
Right. Why? It's sad, though.
Havoc 37 asks, how's Namor?
How's his penis? I heard his penis is too big for the screen.
It's too big for the small shorts. I saw that too.
They edited down his penis, I heard.
Here's what I'm gonna say is the problem with Namor in the movie. Because I'm a kind of like a Namor fan. Because there's gotta be one. And
you didn't have the right fish accent, right?
No, I think because the actor that plays him is a handsome guy. Like I've seen him in the interviews and I've seen pictures with him and he's a handsome guy and he's not handsome enough in the movie.
They uglied him up, you're saying?
They uglied him up a little bit in the movie. Like his facial hair is like unkempt and long and scraggly and he just doesn't look.
You're saying they erased his penis and made him uglier is what you're saying?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that he's a better looking man than the movie allows him to be. When I think he's supposed to be a handsome, charming guy that's part of like the shtick of Namor. So I don't know. I think that they dropped the ball on that aspect.
Shtick for Namor.
But I think they tried.
We can't have that in a Marvel movie.
I know. Just saying. And I think there's room to course correct because I think he's fine. It's not the actor's fault.
You would think like a fish guy wouldn't have a big penis. Because fishes, like, they don't really even have, like, external penis.
Well, he's not a fish.
Isn't he?
No, he's not a fish.
He's like half fish, though.
He's not, I mean, yeah, but you don't know which half.
From the waist down.
No, waist up. Waist up fish.
But he looks like a man from the waist up. So he's got to be waist down fish.
Yeah, but haven't you ever seen those blob fish?
I think he stuffs his shorts,
kind of like people faces. Or those fish with human teeth.
Yes.
Yeah,
he's the exception.
Yeah. So I'm just saying.
I'm gonna see it. I'm not overly excited about it. Part of it's that runtime, like
right.
It doesn't feel 2 hours and 40 minutes.
It'll feel like that for me,
but it feels like it's like 2 hours and 15 minutes.
I feel like no matter what movie I'm watching, it doesn't matter how. Like I know the time that it is. It's like even if I'm enjoying this, oh, it's been an hour and 45 minutes. I don't lose track of the time while I'm watching a movie.
Right. Your ass still is tired. That's why you got to watch it at home. Break that up into like 2 or 3 sessions. It'd be perfect. It'll probably be on Disney Plus like when? January?
Yeah, that would be my guess. I would say around in time for, Quantumania comes out soonish.
Anyway. I watched the movie, an old movie.
What?
With my son, Ty. We watched Pop Star Never Stop something.
Stopping.
Yep, Stopping. Never Stop Stopping. That movie's
it's one of my favorite movies.
Is it really?
Yes. I've talked about it on the show before.
It's one of your, I liked the movie and I laughed pretty hard. I wouldn't say.
That's going to talk about next?
What?
Walk Hard, the Boone Cox story.
Yeah, because it's like the perfect double feature.
Because he's going to keep jokes. Anytime you bring up this movie, he brings up that movie.
Right. That I haven't seen. Is that the same jokes? Like, am I going to see like?
It's basically the same movie, just told in different time periods.
Yeah. I don't know that Ty liked it as much as I did, but.
No, it's.
The limo scene is pretty great, though.
I was going to say, did he like that? I was literally just about to ask.
I was dying. I was fucking dying.
That scene is really funny.
He can't really focus on the movie when I'm sitting next to him, like convulsing on the fucking couch and the floor, laughing so hard. He's like, "What's wrong?"
Maya Rudolph makes me laugh every time I watch that movie. That whole scene with the refrigerators makes me laugh.
I don't even know who was she in the movie?
Deborah.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm. That's an interesting name. What does that mean? Deborah.
Right.
See, even Shipwreck laughed and smirked at my bad line reading. So that's how you know it's funny.
Right. Are there a lot of laughs in Uncharted?
So I watched the Uncharted movie.
Is there a single laugh in that movie?
Did you know that was a movie they made?
I did.
I don't know. It was
no laughs. Did you laugh once? That's a yes or no question. Did you laugh once?
Well, it's not a.
Uncharted has jokes in it in the game. You're supposed to laugh a little at least.
Maybe once. I think there was. I can't remember what it was, but there was a scene where I chuckled.
Were you laughing at it or with it?
Maybe.
Exactly.
It could have been something made me laugh, and I think it was that movie. I remember watching something and thinking, "Oh, that was clever," but no, I'm sorry. I'm thinking about Weird.
Was it Marky Mark's lack of enthusiasm?
So, yeah. So originally this movie was supposed to be made with him as Nathan Drake, right? Like when they were originally going to make this movie.
Okay.
It was going to be Mark Wahlberg as Nathan Drake. And then they didn't make the movie for like 10 years.
He aged out?
And then he aged out, but they still kept him on board.
Right.
And
they probably were like, we're going to have to pay you anyway. So
right.
Do you want to be
so
in
like,
it?
Hey, do you want to be the older guy now?
And his answer is not really.
Right.
But I'll do it.
That's the performance. Like
Tom
Holland, like super charismatic, super likable, right? Like you see him on screen.
You got to like him in everything.
You like him in everything. And he does a pretty good job in this movie, considering the material, right? Like, and
I remember watching that movie and
and the chemistry between him and Wahlberg is just, it does not exist.
No,
like there's nothing there.
And they're supposed to be best friends, right? It's Sully and what's his name?
This takes place like
before they're friends.
It's like a prequel.
It's like multiple Uncharted games put together, right? Like I remember just about every scene in this movie in some fashion, but they were from like different games, like that type of thing. So you remember this scene, like you played as like teenager Nathan Drake.
Sure.
And so that's in this movie type.
That's the opening of the movie.
Him and his brother, right?
Yeah.
So, and then there's a lot of the plot points. Like it stays pretty true to what Uncharted is.
Okay. It's just, you're saying Marky Mark could have done better and it would have lifted the movie up a little bit.
Yeah. It just needed, all they had to do was nail the chemistry between those two characters because that's what makes those games work, right?
Yes, of course.
Like
it's the
games
banter
themselves, like the shooting isn't great. The combat is not great. The climbing around and action scenes, those are good.
Like if it was Chris Evans instead of Mark Wahlberg, who we know has chemistry with what's his face?
Yeah.
Tom Holland.
Sexual.
If you had Robert Downey Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Right, like in there, you're this game.
Is Tom Holland is really good friends with the guy who played the Punisher? They should have gotten him.
Literally anybody but Mark Wahlberg, probably.
He's so busy though, Mark Wahlberg. He's got his like Orange Theory competitor. He's got his. I saw an ad for him on Instagram where he wants you to pray with him on the Rosary app or something. I forgot what it's called, but literally he's like, "Come pray with me." It's like it's me. And he just does everything. He's got his hamburgers. He's got he's got a lot going on.
Yeah,
stabbing people's eyes out or something. Didn't he do that once? Didn't he stab somebody's eye?
Well, the guy looked at him funny.
Yeah. And didn't he stop 9/11 from happening?
Maybe.
What?
But maybe it'd be better in the sequel.
Yeah.
It ends setting up the sequel.
Yeah. I'm probably not watching that.
No, there's nothing new about it, right? Like you watch it and it's like
this is the video game.
This is the video game.
But it was better performances in the video game because they hired like enthusiastic actors and it was cool.
So this can't possibly be a spoiler for anybody, but there is a Stan Lee type of cameo in this where they come up and Nolan North, right? Nolan North's his name?
Yeah, that's his name. He's on the beach.
Yeah, he's on the beach. But like I'm like it's such an awkward line, like where Tom Holland's like talking about like getting thrown out of a plane and being chased by people and all the stuff, and then like Nolan
happens
North's
to me all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
That is exactly
that is exactly the same.
What he says.
And my wife was like, "Who was that?" Like, it's, like the whole movie, there's only been like 4 people in the entire movie, right. And then all of a sudden, you've got Nolan North here, and nobody like.
And that's how it ends.
No, well, it's
and
close
then
to the end.
Credits roll.
Yeah, it's close to the end, but
oh well.
It's such a weird. Like I appreciate the cameo, but at the same time, like anybody who doesn't know, it like just did not fit whatsoever. It wasn't like, oh, and here's a guy doing something that like a random Stan Lee, like, oh, it's the shop operator type of thing.
All right. Well, speaking of things that I'm not going to watch, let's move on to TV. I want to hear all about the new seasons of Titans.
The new season of Titans started, and I watched the first 2 episodes. I think they may be up to 4.
Yeah.
So I watched the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
It is still Titans. They definitely upped the gore level this season.
Okay.
To the point where I was watching an episode, and I'm going to spoil the first episode. I don't care. Do you care? Can I spoil it? Is it allowed?
I think so. Wait, let me play a test tone so people know. That's the spoiler tone. Yeah.
So the first episode, they kill off Lex Luthor. And
I didn't even know he was in the show.
He's in only 1 episode, and they have him played by Titus Welliver, the guy who plays Bosch. So he's in the 1 episode, and he dies by magic, I guess. And the spell is that a giant snake comes out of his mouth, but first he vomits blood for like 15 seconds.
Why?
And then the giant snake comes out of his mouth.
Right. That's bad.
And the giant snake is also covered in blood. And then he falls down on the ground because, all of his insides have been ripped out.
That's not a good way for him to die, for Lex Luthor to die.
And then he falls down in his own.
That's a horrible way to kill him.
Vomit, blood mess. Yeah. So, and it's just a lot of that kind of gore
right
in the first 2 episodes.
Do you know, when I saw the new season was out, I told Mrs. Cheapy, I was like, oh, new season of Titans. And she's like, oh, cool, let's check it out. And then I went to put it on, and then I saw that I still had like so many episodes left from last season because we stopped watching last season because it got so dumb.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, and then we all remembered that. We looked at that. I'm like, oh yeah, this show's really bad. We can't watch the show anymore.
It's incredibly stupid.
It was good. The first few seasons were good.
Yeah, it's pretty stupid. I'm not gonna lie. Right. I mean, will I continue to watch it? I don't. Like I said, I'm already. I think 3
too many episodes, but it's too many episodes. It's like 12 episodes or something in a season, or some too. There's too many. Anyway, you been watching The Vow too, or did I write that?
No, I started that too.
Oh, okay. How do you like that?
I think we watched the first 3 episodes so far.
Yeah.
It's good. It's more of The Vow. It's
so
more
creepy.
About
The fucking
thing.
guy, Keith Raniere, so creepy. It's hard to watch his creepiness.
Mm-hmm. And I said this on the first season, and I'll say it again now, just reiterating what you said. They had a very lucrative, legitimate business.
Yeah.
It's crazy that they took that extra step to screw it up and all go to prison.
It was really only because this guy just like he needed to fuck everybody.
Mm-hmm.
If this guy could have just said, you know what, I'm just gonna hire prostitutes and just like if like because you look, you know, you gotta fuck, but like that would have been much better because you're not messing with your business, you're not committing crime. Like some of these little girls, they were 16 years old. Like that's a crime. Very bad and very creepy. And he blew, and you see, like, you know, all the people in this group think he's like a genius. But then when you see like just him filming him around the house in his sweatpants and stuff, and he's like scratching his nuts and just talking about like gross sex stuff, like this is no genius. Probably like Elon in his house. I feel like it's the same thing when you don't see Elon behind the
but
scenes.
his house is probably bigger.
Definitely. Oh, yeah, they lived in like a shitty house in Albany.
Yeah.
But they were pulling in millions and millions of dollars. Like
Millions
really
of dollars
weird.
from a legitimate business. That, I mean, might it have been shady and a little bit of snake oily? Sure.
Yes.
But still, but it was still perfectly legal.
And people didn't complain that they got ripped off.
That's what I mean. No one was complaining. They were making lots of money. They had celebrity endorsements. The dude met the Dalai Lama. You know, you could have milked that for really the rest of your life and lived very comfortably. You may not have been the richest man in the world.
And he's so gross looking. It's hard. I know you're not supposed to say that, but he looks like he just smells.
No, he looks like a thumb that needs a haircut. But
yes, a hippie thumb.
A hippie thumb, and it's just yeah. It bothers me on so many levels, but it really does. It really does irk me because I'm like, if I had a business like that.
Yeah. That's what the whole woman in the show, Nancy, like, she's like, we had this great business and all you had to do was just not fuck everybody.
Yeah.
And do weird shit with like sorority branding.
Yeah. And one of those people was her daughter.
You're right. Right. It's all very bad. Anyway, I got you guys won't like this show, but if you're looking for like some sophisticated entertainment and you have Apple TV Plus, because I know people say it like there's not a lot of stuff to watch on Apple TV Plus, there's a show called Pachinko, which is about a Korean family through like several generations, from like part where like the Japanese occupation of Korea to like modern Japan. And we watched the first episode. It's very serious, but it's very like epic in scope and well acted and well directed. The guy who directed it is the guy who made a movie and almost used our house, but found a better house. Kogonada is his name. So that's on Apple TV called Pachinko, if you're looking for something serious. And if you're looking for something less serious, but also excellent, this season of Black Lotus on HBO is really fucking great. I highly recommend that. And if you haven't watched Black Lotus at all, just start with the first season and watch that because that season is awesome. Ship, you don't like Black Lotus?
Never watched it.
You should check it out. It's really cool.
My wife is into it.
It's good. Why don't you watch it? It's really, it's funny.
I don't watch like TV much at all.
Like non-family TV. Not even family TV.
I mean, we watch like movies.
White Lotus. Did I say Black Lotus? I wrote down Black Lotus. What the fuck?
See, I couldn't even watch it if I tried.
I knew what you meant.
Thank you, Darth Rook. I said fucking Black Lotus.
I watched the first episode of the third season of Mythic Quest.
How was that?
You reminded me about that since you were on Apple TV.
Oh.
I like that show well enough. It's much better. Like the first season, I've talked about it before. The first season had too much like in jokes on video games, right? It was like a little bit too much about the video games and not enough about the characters and just like the work environment in general. Like we didn't need to have it specific jokes. It was, I don't know. It got a little bit too close to Big Bang Theory as far as like we've got so much nerd stuff that we're throwing into here that you recognize because this is nerd stuff. But Mrs. Shipwreck is watching it with me now and she's enjoying it. So, I mean, for a workplace comedy, it's pretty solid.
I think you should watch White Lotus with Mrs. Ship. It's it's stuff that I talk about it with Mrs. Chibi, like
What
always,
is
like the
this?
next day.
You've talked about this a lot. I don't remember which
It takes place at a resort at a fancy. It always takes place at a fancy resort. Each season is a different resort in a different country, and it's basically the first season is mostly about like you see like the juxtaposition of the customers versus the people working there, and it's basically it's a dark comedy. It's over the top. There's big laughs, but it's sort of serious, and it's a dark comedy. That's the best way to describe it.
I'll
it's very, very good.
Preview it to see if it's something that Mrs. Shipper could be interested in at all.
If you go on vacations as a family and stay at resorts, I think you can relate to it in some way. Even though it's a dark comedy and it sounds like it might be a little daunting, but it's really entertaining and funny. I also will recommend something completely fucking ridiculous on YouTube. There's a channel called Oral Knots. I don't know if you know that channel. They did the Darth Trump video, which is pretty funny. But they put out a lot of like Star Wars content, and they put out a series called Larry. And what they've done is they've taken the Obi-Wan series off of Disney Plus and just dubbed over it, basically, to make it even goofier than it is.
And that's what AU Oral Knots?
Yes.
Okay.
And
not oral knots like ORAL.
No, AURAL. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's all about like dance fighting and like going to nightclubs. It's just very funny. And even Mrs. Chiefy liked it. Usually the really weird stuff, it's too weird for Mrs. Chiefy, but it's so funny that I had to send them $25 because, they look for money.
Maybe I'll check that out.
Yeah, it's very. If you've watched Obi-Wan, I feel like it's funnier.
I've been getting on YouTube rabbit holes before I go to sleep. That's been my new go to sleep thing to do. So.
Sure. Did you watch Obi-Wan?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, then you'll like Larry.
Gotcha. And JLS Production 07 in the chat reminds us that Mr. Schneebly from School of Rock, also the writer of School of Rock, is also the writer-creator of White Lotus.
Yes.
So that brings our whole School of Rock from the intro. It brings us right full circle.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Watch all that shit that I just mentioned.
Yep.
Are these new releases from last week, or are they this week?
They're both there. If you scroll down, you'll get to the more recent new releases. Lengthy. Do we want to do a word from our friends first? Get that out of the way.
Sure, let's do that.
Okay. We're going to hear from our friends at HelloFresh. What is HelloFresh? With HelloFresh, you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. Subscribe to HelloFresh and check save money off your fall to-do list. HelloFresh is 25% cheaper than takeout and less expensive than grocery shopping, too. Time to cozy up and save money by cooking from home. Fall is the perfect time to experience the delicious taste and unparalleled convenience of HelloFresh. If you have a packed fall calendar, HelloFresh's quick and easy meals like their 20-minute recipes or low prep and easy cleanup options mean you'll spend less time in the kitchen and more time with your loved ones, because changing seasons means changing tastes. And with 30-plus weekly recipes to choose from, HelloFresh has something for everyone. Easily customize your meals by swapping proteins or sides, upgrading to choice proteins, or adding a veggie meal. I am a HelloFresh subscriber. I have been for a very long time. I had HelloFresh for dinner tonight. I had the chicken tacos. They were like Asian-inspired chicken tacos with a vinegar slaw and sous vide chicken and pepper. It was so good. Like really good. Sriracha mayo. I think I ate all 3 tacos in about 15 seconds, but it was one of those quick and easy meals that was 20 minutes to make. So, and it was perfect for, cause tonight was back to school night. So really it like checked all the boxes of what we needed. Something delicious, something quick and easy to make, because we had, lots of stuff going on, but we also didn't want to eat garbage food. So we wanted something that was good and healthy. And we had all of those things. I can't recommend it enough. And you can do this too. Just go to HelloFresh.com/CAGcast65 and use code CAGcast65 for 65% off plus free shipping. Again, go to HelloFresh.com/CAGcast65 and use code CAGcast65 for 65% off plus free shipping. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit.
That was not very enthusiastic, that ending.
I thought it was.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Chip, what do you think? What would you rate that out of 10?
7.5.
Thank you.
Agree.
Excellent. Is that what we're going to give this episode? Is that the title of this episode?
No, never.
No.
Never, ever.
Okay. So you've been playing a game, Cheapy.
No,
right?
I haven't. How dare you fucking say that to me?
I know you have.
What
because
game
I
have I been
have the
playing?
game
Prove
too. You showed me a picture of it.
My penis?
Yes. That too.
Oh.
I have one of those too.
Mhm.
Let's show
We have this in
everybody.
common.
I've been playing that game.
We've been doing this show like for 745 episodes.
And we never talked about that.
We never knew that we had this common
This
ground
common
here.
appendage.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Are we talking about Atari 50?
Yes, we're talking about Atari 50, the
I have that as
anniversary
well.
celebration collection.
Right.
That's a cool little package.
Hey, we're talking about our
Big little
penises?
packages. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I set that up.
Right. Sure you did.
I've had this game for a while now too. I've had it for a couple of weeks because they sent it to me early. And I mean, it's as much a, compilation of games as it is a retrospective of Atari. And if you're into the history of video games in general, there's a lot to dive into just in the videos in the documentary portion of it, which I find just as interesting as the games themselves.
Well, the games aren't very interesting.
Well, the games are more like, this is what was there then. So you're watching these documentary pieces where they're talking about the games. And what makes this more interesting than, say, a regular documentary is that when they're done talking about that game, you can go play it yourself
Yep.
and kind of get a feel for what they're talking about on that sort of deeper level.
Like games have described themselves, like some of these compilations, as like interactive museum type things before. This is the only one that is
Right.
like actually like set up like you could picture yourself being in a exhibit where you're like, oh, I read these things, I watched this little video, and over here is the game that I can try, and then move on to the next thing, right?
It feels like a museum.
And that's and that's
It's got
what
the
this
feel
is.
like this is the first time I ever in one of these things where it's pulled it off, I think. Like,
yeah, it's a really cool idea and a really cool experience. I mean, a lot of these games, yes, the better games are good. Missile Command is good. I like Yar's Revenge. I like Breakout.
It was very cool to sit down on the couch with Ty and start at the fucking beginning of the timeline, because everything's like on a timeline, and go through this and be like, oh yeah, I remember when this came out in the arcade and we were like flipping out over this, and then we would play it. Like it was really cool, and watch the videos and all, and zoom in on the box art, and we did it for like a while. Like we got to like the end of the first. It's all broken down into like eras, and era. It's a great game. Yeah, I actually like when it started to get like great reviews and stuff. I asked for a review copy, but then I just bought it like immediately. Like 2 hours later, I was like, fuck it, let me just buy this. Sounds like it's going to be a good investment.
yeah, like let's give Atari some money.
And some props for putting together a good game.
Right.
And a lot of these games benefit greatly from like using an Xbox controller compared to anything. Like I got the best score I ever got in Fire Truck. It's a lot easier with an Xbox controller.
Were you playing 2-player Fire Truck?
No.
Oh,
That would be
okay.
great.
I thought you and Ty.
That one I did by myself. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, Atari 50 is really great. I mean, if you're
Those
old,
Jaguar games. Yeesh.
I haven't gotten to that portion.
yeah,
no
me neither.
spoilers. No spoilers. I don't want to know if the Jaguar games aren't any good.
but it is so cool. Like I load one of the great things is like in the arcade games, they have like it's beautiful. Like the artwork is on the screen right there. It looks so great. And I loaded up an Atari Lynx game, and how are they going to do that right on a big screen? So they have like, it's like you're playing an Atari, like they have it all up on the screen, like the machine, and they did a great job. It looks wild. Like it's really
You
cool.
can tell a lot of care was put into this, which is nice to see.
Yes.
Better than that
There's
Pac-Man
some new games in
one
there
that came
too.
out.
Yes.
Yeah, which are like if you're actually looking for a unique experience game wise, like,
It's in there.
The Yars Revenge
things.
one is pretty good. I think I said that twice now, though.
You like it?
I do like it.
All right,
I like
what else
Yars
we got?
Revenge. What else we got?
I've been
here?
playing another game.
What?
Yum Yum Cookstar.
Not yet.
Garfield Lasagna Party.
I definitely want to get Garfield Lasagna Party.
Cobra Kai 2, Dojo's Rising.
I still haven't beaten Cobra Kai 1,
Right.
but
Always look
no,
eye.
I've been playing Sonic Frontiers.
Oh.
Oh yeah, that was this game that came out. I forgot.
It is a game that came out, and then immediately like dropped in $20 like a day after I bought it.
That sounds about right.
Did it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it dropped $20 within its first week,
Oh.
which
I didn't stay on top of that.
So how is it?
Your people
How's
did.
how's the Sonic?
I'm sure.
The Sonic is actually really good. Like it's not gonna blow away people like that don't have kids, I guess, or that aren't Sonic fans to begin with. But like open world Sonic, guess what? Give him a big environment where he's not constantly falling off stuff,
Yeah.
and you have room to like make errors, and Sonic's pretty fun in that environment, right? Like give him some room to move. So it's very, the world seems like kind of like, I don't know, Breath of the Wild style. Like he can climb and stuff, but he's not. Sonic's shoes aren't breaking, so you don't have to worry about that.
I was literally just gonna ask that question.
Yeah,
He doesn't get tired.
Yeah, so then you go and you like you're filling out the map, and you do the map by doing like little challenges on the map, and then there's these portals that you go in that you play like either a 3D Sonic type level, like real short, like right, these things are like 2 minutes long, or a 2D Sonic style level. And those things get you things, and you unlock things, and you go to the next world, and you get
better
more
shoes.
things. You do increase his. It's got an RPG element that you can increase his speed and his defense, and he's in there punching dudes.
Nice.
Right?
Mix it up.
It's like wow, they're figuring out something to do that's like enjoyable for this character. Like they have, it goes all over the place, right? With the Sonic games, like they do some and you're like, oh, this is the 2D Sonic. They did this 2D Sonic, like Sonic Mania was good. But the 3D ones they've struggled with for quite a while.
Right.
So it's not perfect, but it's good.
That's good.
Yeah. I enjoy it. Like even when I'm not playing it with Dashel, I'm like, maybe I'll play a little Sonic Frontiers.
It's gonna be $29 at Walmart for Black Friday.
Son of a, I don't care. I paid full price for it, and I'm
Supporting the people.
It's going to be one of the things that Dashel plays like repeatedly.
That's fine. Maybe I'll pick it up.
I've played that Spider-Man game enough in the
Actually,
Kamen Rider game enough.
I know that I have something else coming. At least they said that it was coming, so I may have to wait and not pick that up.
Nice.
Let me pick it out.
Big important stuff.
Big important
games.
None of us got God of War Ragnarok.
No, we're the worst.
I don't have it on a PS5. I mean, I know I could play it on PS4, but I didn't even play the last one.
I didn't like the last one.
I didn't play the last one either.
I played it. I didn't. It wasn't. I don't like the boy. I'm sorry. I know that I'm a father with a son, and I'm supposed to like get all the feels from it. But I'd rather play Fortnite with my son and then play a game that doesn't have my son in it. Does that make sense? Like, oh yeah, you go to bed now. Now I'm going to play the game where I'm an angry bald man with an axe and chop off heads whilst you sleep. I don't want to do that. I don't like that.
I got really confused when he switched mythologies.
I don't mind that too much.
It doesn't bother me. I just got confused. I'm like,
yeah.
Wait, what?
Now you're Norse. Now you're Norse. Remember when you fought Zeus? Now you're fighting Odin.
Why are they doing that? They ran
Wow.
out. They ran out.
Vikings were cool when they made the switch.
Yeah, when they made it at the time of like Vikings were the hotness at the time, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't need the boy.
I like the classics.
Yeah.
There is
like
a rumor that
the
they're going to make a new PS5 next year, like a smaller one.
Just in time for you to get
just
one?
Just one.
Probably, hopefully more than one. They have been available on store shelves.
Are you wearing your new shirt, by the way? I just noticed. Is that your new t-shirt?
That's my new Blades of Steel shirt. Hold on, take a look.
Yeah, it's cool.
Get the pass. Is that what he said? Get the pass? I don't know. We'll never know.
I'll never know.
What else in new releases?
The Call of Duty Warzone 2 came out.
I don't have that on my hard drive anymore. It takes up like 120 gigabytes or something.
No, that it's a whole new thing.
Oh, how much
this
is that?
Warzone 2. It's 70 gigs.
That's
I
a
know
lot.
because I downloaded it to check it out.
Oh, you did check it out.
I did check it out.
You
I
admit
downloaded it. It's free. I'm like, this is free and coming out this week.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't I play it so I could say on the show that I downloaded it and played it?
Did you remember to move and shoot at the same time?
No, I did not.
Fuck.
Yeah. I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't like it very much. And that's my whole story.
7.5.
7.5. It's not for me. I have my game.
I could have told you that before you downloaded it.
I know.
There's so much going on in that. You need to know.
There are so many menu screens. There's like menu screens within menu screens. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? I just want to like fall down and shoot somebody. Can I do that? How do I do that?
Isn't this, am I remembering right? Isn't this what Elliot wanted to play?
No, he wanted to play the single player.
Oh, okay.
He wants to play the story mode.
He wanted to kill people in the airport.
Did we get an update on that? Like, what's the...
He has not played. He's asked about 4 times a day. No, he's asked about 4 times since that show if he can do it. And I said, I'm still thinking about it.
Right.
I want to try to find something that's similar, but not the same. So at least he could say, I want him to do something else first before he does that.
Kill less people.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
I mean, no, it's not a bad idea.
Not unreasonable. Yeah.
Not unreasonable.
Mm-hmm.
I support you either way. I'm just curious, right?
Yeah, no, nothing. No, there's been no real resolution yet.
Anything else? I don't know if this is a new release or not. Well, but I've been
Garfield Lasagna Party?
No, I've been playing.
It's a new release. We already established that.
No, I've been playing Vampire Survivors. I think it just came out on Game Pass.
Yeah. That's on Game Pass. I played a lot of that.
I didn't know anything about it, and it looked, just from the screenshots, it looked really confusing. So but it's not and even when you load it up, there's no instructions or anything, and I was like, oh no, this is going to be like a fucking nightmare. But they're literally, there's no even tooltips that pop up. But then again, there's no buttons that you push either.
There's no buttons.
So yeah, I really like that game. I think the longest I lasted is 13 minutes.
I think I'm probably around the same as you. Probably 13.
Level 21 minutes. Maybe, or something like that. It's pretty fun. Even Mrs. GP will watch me play that.
Mm-hmm. My wife watched me play it too. She's like, I don't know what's going on here.
It's a little mesmerizing though.
Yeah. You're just moving around. For those who don't know what this game is, I guess technically it's a roguelike game where you select a character and you start off with one weapon, and the more things you kill, it has an 8-bit almost Castlevania look to it, but you're on this sort of just green plane, and it starts out with bats flying at you, and you fire automatically, and they drop blue crystals, and you pick up enough blue crystals and you level up, and you can unlock another weapon, and then 2 things start shooting out of you, almost like a shmup. And it's like a shmup meets Castlevania.
Yeah.
Roguelike, and you just keep leveling up.
But they don't shoot at you. Instead of the enemies shooting, maybe they do when you get later, but I haven't had any that shoot at you. Instead of enemies shooting at you, it's just so many enemies.
They swarm you like hundreds, and yeah, it's crazy.
Chip, you would really like this.
Yeah, and it sounds good. I'll give it a shot.
And when you get enough coins, you can unlock things that are permanent buffs. So when you unlock the health, extra 20% health, you have that forever. You don't lose that between rounds. Sure. So you want to collect coins. You want to unlock new characters that have different skills. So there's a persistence to it that makes you want to keep coming back, unlike a lot of other roguelikes where you don't lose everything. You don't really lose anything when you die. You just have to start over again from the beginning. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's the style of roguelike that I enjoy.
Prefer.
And you
Yeah,
unlock
me too.
different stages that you can play in. I only unlocked one so far.
Mhm.
What's really cool about what I like about it is like I don't feel I should be studying something to get better at the game. Like I don't know if there is. I mean, I'm sure there's some sort of like strategy on which things you're supposed to pick when you're leveling up. But I don't feel like I'm missing out or like I'm not understanding something.
Garlic.
Garlic. I love the fucking garlic. Garlic is where it's at. Anything else in the new releases?
I don't think so.
Oh, Pentiment is.
Oh, did you start that? The new Obsidian game?
Yes, I started that with Mrs. Cheapy. After about 10 minutes, Mrs. Cheapy said, "Too much reading." And then we played Vampire Survivors. It looks really cool. The art style is awesome. I was surprised that there's no voice acting in it. But it's a lot of reading. So get ready for reading. That's all.
Out.
Yeah, it's a lot. I guess that's it for new releases.
Yeah.
Good.
We can go right into new fortnightly news.
Do it.
Big announcement in the world of Fortnite.
You're retired from Fortnite. Wow.
Actually, it's the opposite. Chapter 4 is coming to an end. And Chapter 5 is going to launch on December.
Oh, they're going with Chapter 5 now.
No, they said that no more. They said, actually.
Oh, they said no more? They ending it all completely?
Yeah, Elon's buying. They sold to Elon.
Do you know how sad that would make me if that happened?
If they sold to Elon?
Pretty sad. I would be sad.
We're spinning off Fortnite.
Yeah. I hope they don't do anything like that.
Nah,
They've got
money.
A good thing going. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're gonna have a whole new map. The December 4th. Whole big live event on the 4th, new map on the 5th. The whole thing.
Right after the Growers Cup. Wow.
Yeah. It's gonna be exciting. Just in time for my mother's birthday. So
everything's coming together.
I'm excited. I mean, as always. The last time they did this, that's when they started the no builds and Spider-Man when they relaunched the last one. So I'm hoping for something just as exciting.
I think I heard a rumor actually.
Yeah.
No guns.
First person.
Only build. Only build.
Slaps only.
Only build. It's going to be like a load runner.
Only build. Slaps only.
Slaps only. They added
no backs.
the car from Rocket League to the game this week.
You can run people over.
You can always run people over, but this has that Rocket League car that can drive on walls and has the super boost.
That's brand synergy.
Yeah, exactly. But
what else
I'm
we
excited
got in your news and stuff?
Good. Sure. So remember that game of the Avengers game, the Marvel Avengers game?
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember when they said they were going to release like a character every like month or so?
Yeah.
Like we're going to have new characters every month. Remember
Hawkeye's coming.
Yeah. Another Hawkeye.
They're releasing Winter Soldier 2 years later. 2 years later.
He's hot. He's so hot right now.
The Winter Soldier.
It is winter.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming right. I mean, it's good synergy.
I mean, it makes sense
seasonal synergy
in the sense that he's probably going to be good for the game. He shoots things and punches things, and that seems to be the good combo. Like Black Widow, I think is the best playable character in that game.
When's the last time you played that game?
Wait, are you breaking down the tiers of the characters in Marvel Avengers right now?
I think so. I think I played that game not that long ago. I think that
it gets played like twice a month in my house because
to beat him up.
Yeah. It's a beat 'em up that
has Avengers in
it. Right.
Yeah. I think that Black Widow is probably the most well-rounded character for the type of fighting you do in that game.
Wrong.
And Winter Soldier is going to be just that. Who is it then? Is it Thor? You can say it's Thor.
I don't care.
Yes,
I just want to tell you you're wrong.
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. And you, whoever you say is also right.
My son likes Black Panther.
Yeah,
because he likes Black Panther. That's the reason he plays as Black Panther.
That's a good reason. It's a good reason. So yeah, I mean, I'll check it out. Obviously, I'll check out Winter Soldier. It's soon. It's in I think next week or 2 weeks. And Winter Soldier.
I don't think my kid knows who Winter Soldier is.
Got to watch the movie.
He doesn't need to.
Yeah, he's got a metal arm and
Watch
he's
the
angry.
Watch the TV show.
Mm-hmm.
I put these next two things on the outline because I thought they were pretty interesting and related. Microsoft is making a mobile store, their own app store, to take on Apple and Google, because like they can now, right? The court says they have to, right? They have to allow other stores on there, or no?
I don't think so. I don't think that's
That was the
happened
ruling.
exactly. That's what.
Well, then what's the point?
Epic wanted to happen on iOS, but
Right.
that has not happened.
But it has not happened. So what are they thinking? Because what's the word I'm looking for? The gist of the articles, these two articles, was that really one of the big reasons why why Microsoft's trying to buy Activision is for mobile. And
okay, well, you can still make money. You just got to sell it either on the Apple Store or
right, but it's not just, it's mobile for their own store, their own mobile store. So yeah, Call of Duty is huge, but they're really interested in Call of Duty mobile, because that can be like a flagship entry into their mobile store. But if they can't have
not going to happen,
right? So what's the point even then?
It's a terrible idea.
And so Phil Spencer came out. He basically, Phil Spencer again has come out and said that Call of Duty will stay native on PlayStation. And it's pretty clear from reading the interview that mobile is like a really big part of this deal.
They talk a lot about mobile in the interview on The Verge about how big King is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
and that these things would be like the jewels of the Microsoft App Store, whatever that is. But if it's not going to be available on your iPhone, then what's the point?
People aren't looking for another mobile store.
For sure.
They're fine with, if they're on Apple, going to the App Store, and there's plenty of stuff there.
Yep.
More than enough stuff there. If you're on a Google device, Android device, you can get it. Like, I'm sure like 95% or higher of their users probably just use the Google Shop option.
But it sounds like the thinking was, if we have a high profile title like Call of Duty and it's only available on our mobile store, it's going to get some people at least to look at our store. But if the store is not available on the iPhone, then what's the point even?
I mean,
it'll be there.
It'll be where?
On the iPhone.
The Microsoft Store?
I don't know.
Are they allowed? I mean, I admit to not following the trial.
I think what happened was you can go through and it has to be on the Apple Store, but then there's also like a link that you can go like, or you can buy it over here.
How does Netflix do it? They have their games on the App Store, but they're not through.
It's tied into your subscription. So
they're tied to your Netflix subscription.
Yeah, so you can't get to it. But they must probably have some deal with Apple to make that happen, right?
I was gonna say, but I'm just saying it's not unprecedented. It sounds like it would be something similar.
Right.
Like it'd be tied to your Game Pass
or the Xbox app, right? Like the Xbox app is also now going to be like
it's tied to something.
But they have that kind of shut down too, and they've shut it down before, right? On that side as well. Like.
I think it all depends on the deal that's
sure.
willing to be
made.
Because
the way that it works
the platform owners are getting their cut.
I don't think the problem. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think the problem is how the platform is set up. As long as the revenue share doesn't change.
Yep.
That was the problem. That was the issue with Epic. Was Epic created their own store because they didn't want to share revenue with Apple anymore.
Right.
No, it's for the people.
Yeah, and that's when Apple was like, "No, you can go
humanity.
Fuck yourself."
This is another for humanity.
I guarantee you, if Epic's like, "We want to make our own store," but don't worry, Apple, you still get your 40%. Apple would be like, "Have a good fucking time."
Right.
So do whatever you want. Just here's where the checks go. And that would have been that, but that wasn't the situation. So I think if the situation is Microsoft wants to open their own store, but still give 40% to Apple,
30.
Apple's going to say, here's where the checks go.
that might work if that's the case.
Yeah.
That'll work, and at least they can set up something. Sure, they've done the math. Like they probably have thought through that, and they're not just hoping that Apple will let them do this, right? Like,
right. I mean, then the way the Netflix one works is like you're in the Netflix app, the regular app that you use to watch the movies, and there's like a game section, and then when you click on the games, it takes you to the Apple Store. But I guess those games are not discoverable in the Apple Store otherwise? I don't know.
No, if you discover them in the Apple Store and try to download them, it asks you to sign into Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe something like that.
It goes through their store.
Yeah. So I'm thinking there's got to be I'm thinking something in that vein.
Maybe. Anyway.
The only reason Apple wouldn't go this and allow them to have their own gaming store would be
there's money
to prevent, well, it's money and to prevent precedents. Like they don't want anything to knock down their wall of their store. Right. So if you let this in, then you're going to get sued from all these other companies that want to put their stores on there too.
Right.
So
maybe it's not so much a store as it is a subscription type thing that like Netflix.
Sure. Like if you got Game Pass.
Right.
Going on there, and here's your Game Pass. You get your mobile games.
Right.
Like, sure, that may be a thing.
I'm just trying to figure, because he's very adamant. Phil's very adamant that Call of Duty's coming to PlayStation, and we said, that it's probably not. But I could see, like, if the play was really, you don't think the ship's still skeptical.
He said something about like he would like to have a deal that would to extend past the current deal.
Okay,
and that's what. Something along those lines.
He said, we are definitely open to discussions with either Sony or regulators about making sure that continues to happen in a way they want to see. That's a lot of
discussions is not
not the same as saying, yes, it's going to stay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
The headline's a little misleading in many ways.
It's not at all. It's if you read the words that are said there, it says exactly.
He does say it will stay native, basically, but or it could stay native.
He thinks it's he uses Minecraft as an example, which is also a weird way to go because there's never been a Minecraft 2.
Right.
So, maybe whatever. I don't even want to get into it.
No, let's go to the CAG bag and we can wrap shit up. Oh, what are my questions? Good. Oh, here they are. Okay. This one is from Christian. He writes in, it says, a group of friends and I are planning to visit a ping pong gym for the first time. Ping pong club, not gym. Or unless it's even if it's in a gym, you still call it a ping pong club. Oh my God,
no one cares.
Well, Christian does. He wrote this letter in.
Maybe it's a table tennis gym.
No, that would be wrong too. Anyway, he wants to know if we have any advice or tips for complete rookies on learning and not being a nuisance. You're not going to be a nuisance. Just watch some YouTube videos for, anything you want to do and learn. They got YouTube videos, so many YouTube videos on it. And just type in like beginner table tennis tips and you'll find a ton of shit to look at. Timo Boll has a good channel for that, but just do that. Anything. That's good advice for anything you're looking to get better at in life. You can go on YouTube and find shit. Let's see here. At Super Mario something I can't read says, have you guys watched Andor? It's quite good. Has anyone checked that out? Everyone in my Twitter feed is basically saying
I know
that
people love it, and I
don't believe them.
I feel like I missed the boat.
How can you miss the boat?
I don't know. Maybe I'll watch it when soonish.
Do you know why I'm skeptical? It's not without good reason.
Because you didn't like Rogue One? Because I didn't like Rogue One?
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't like Rogue One either.
I thought it was bad. I actively disliked it. And then people really loved it though and think it's like top tier Star Wars.
I know. I don't understand that at all.
I do not get it. I just don't. I don't. So, but Andor, everybody is going crazy about like art. They're calling it like artistic.
They said that about Rogue One though.
Oh, yeah. Did they? Okay.
Yeah. That's why I'm hesitant.
Maybe when there's a real drought of things to watch, but I don't know.
Somebody tell me if like somebody who likes episode 1, if they're like, yes, Andor is worth watching.
Episode 1 of what? Of Star Wars?
Of Star Wars.
You mean the Phantom Menace?
Yeah. Like that's the level I'm looking for. Like if somebody like, I don't feel like there's many people who are like, I love Rogue One and Phantom Menace was pretty good. right? Like,
okay, I don't know.
I'm more in this camp of like Phantom Menace had some things going for it. It's not a perfect film,
Right.
but it at least is a it's in the Star Wars realm that I like.
Right.
So I don't need gritty depressing Star Wars. Not what I'm looking for.
Right. And it was just lame. It was
Not a
just fake gritty.
Oh, no, there's a laser sword in that one. Right? Like right at the end, there's a laser sword.
Yeah, at the end, yes.
Yes. Oh, you got to watch Larry. Larry's just top tier Star Wars.
I'll check it out.
They have laser swords, big laser swords.
Okay.
All right, that's enough show. We don't need to read these other questions.
Oh, you're not
right?
going to ask that Shanafan question?
I didn't even understand it. Well, we can read it. I didn't even understand what he was fucking asking. He says, a genie visits Wombat and asks him, I will give you a House of Representatives position, but you can never play Fortnite again. Would he do it? Does
he mean make me a congressman?
Yeah,
Or that is what he means.
Or maybe he means give you a Democratic seat so that the Democrats. No, he means Wombat as a congressman.
Wombat as a congressman.
Yes, I would take that offer. I would be a congressman.
You would
and never play Fortnite again.
You would.
Yes.
Why don't you just make that happen?
Would you be lying that you're not playing Fortnite?
No, I would just not. I mean, if the genie says that, I don't know, for whatever reason, I can't.
I'm not going to get like a Apple Watch alert that Wombat's signed into Xbox Live.
I mean, my son can still play.
So. A congressman lying, unheard of.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. So you would like to be a congressman, is what you're saying?
I think I'd be a good congressman.
Why don't you run? What are you doing?
I should have. Honestly,
it's not too late.
When I look at what happened in the last election and the piss poor performance of the people in our district,
you probably couldn't have done anything about that, though.
Huh?
I don't think you could have done much because we had a really good person run, and
no, we didn't. He sucked.
No, we had a good person in our town, and
you had Zimmerman
in our area. Run. No, it was somebody else, and they were incumbent, and they lost, and they did a really good job, as I thought. And I
thought we were in the same district.
We're not. We've established this many times. Anyway,
no, they redrew the districts last year.
Whatever. Mine. It's a different person, and she lost. Anyway.
Oh, you had the lady that lost. She wasn't an incumbent either.
She was. Forget it.
Susan, no, you're a previous
incumbent. We're going to get to the bottom of this right now.
The two incumbents didn't run. That was part of the problem. They both didn't run.
Anyway, forget it. I voted for somebody who didn't run. Let's wrap up the show, and we will see everybody next week.
All right.
Bye.
Bread's done.